Okay, continuing on. The angelic perspective. From Satan's perspective, although God desired to have man before the foundation of the world, man would have been perceived as a response to Satan's rebellion and displacement. Satan viewed himself as having authority over this world, being called the God of this world. 2 Corinthians 4:4. Do you remember when he promised the kingdoms of the world to Jesus Christ in Matthew 4:8 and 9? Was this an idle boast? But was it really his? Not originally. God gave it to man, who he created from the dust of the earth. God made man in his likeness and gave him dominion. Amen. This was an insult to the angels. Genesis 1:26 through 27. The angels questioned God's decision. They wondered why God was mindful of man, who was made lower than the angels, yet was given dominion over all God's works. Psalm 8:3-6. When I consider thy heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars, which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him, and the son of man that thou visit him? For thou hast made him a little lower than the angels, and hast crowned him with glory and honor. Thou made him to have dominion over the works of thy hands. Thou hast put all things under his feet. According to Hebrews 2, this was an angel that spoke this. To them, it was a wonderful mystery. To some, it was an insult. God has always worked on the principle, as stated in Corinthians, of choosing the foolish things of this world, the things which are despised, to confound the mighty and the strong. The angels were the first group to be offended by God's choice of foolish things. So-called foolish man will be instructed in displacing Satan not only from the earth, but the heavens as well. 1 Corinthians 1:27-28. Currently, Satan can go back and forth accusing us before God. But this will come to an end when he is displaced even in the heavens by the man-child who has been given dominion. Amen. The redeemed, regenerated, transformed, glorified, heavenly new creation man will occupy the highest place of honor. When you really start digging into it, in his eyes, we have become his replacement. Revelation 12:10 and 11. We are given more than any angel because we are brought into God's heart and made one with him. Amen. This is represented in Genesis 1, even though it is the earthly foreshadow of the tree of life, which is God's life presented to man as food. I understand that not everyone agrees with this view. For the record, I still believe in a 7-day creation model. However, there are even some mysteries to the 7 days if we are literal enough with the scriptures. For example, the sun and the stars were set in place on the 4th day to set signs and seasons. Genesis 1:14. We know a 24-hour period is dictated by the Earth's rotation with respect to the sun, but the sun and the stars were not put into their place to govern times and seasons until the 4th day. So what governed the times and seasons for the first 3 days? Well, darkness and light, I suppose. I don't have all the answers. I just wanted to let you know where I stand on this. As we will see, the 7th day is mysterious. Interestingly, it never ended. We are taught in Hebrews that this 7th day, this represents God's rest, is always held forth as today. Amen. Hebrews 4:9-10. Whether in Joshua's time David's time or now. After the judgment of the angels, or whatever this former cataclysm was, the earth was plunged into darkness. Peter mentions that the earth, which was then destroyed, was standing in and out of the waters, or out of the water. 2 Peter 3, 5 and 6. He then talks about the earth that presently is. It's kind of strange. These are some mysterious things that come from trying to be as literal as possible when reading the Word. Amen.